what do the Sharia advisory Sharia scholars advisory function is? What do they do? I have grouped them in 4 different tasks. Yeah. One is first of all is to give their opinion on any issue, whether it is before at a planning and business plan stage, or whether it is an operational issue after something has happened. So ex ante or ex post Sharia rulings is when they are asked. But apart from giving Sharia ruling, their task is also to monitor and train and supervise and popularize the culture of Sharia adherence within the institution. And how it is done, apart from training and other regulatory things, it is done by reviewing and certifying, whether maybe quarterly meetings, half-yearly reviews, and anyway, the annual audit has to be done for the institution. And this is the role of one of the key roles of the Sharia scholars: giving rulings, opinions, and then making sure that those rulings have been adhered to. And of course, the audit and certification of annual reports. All the annual reports of the Islamic financial institution, they contain the financial audit report, and then as a part of annual report, they have to have one page about the Sharia audit, that the random sample was carried out, and then that the institution complied mainly overall with Sharia. So these are the 4 different types of functions which is carried out by the Sharia scholars, and it's just a graphical presentation which I found it interesting, that issuing fatwa, certificates and rulings, and then monitoring and training, and then auditing and certifying. These are the 3 main functions. Yeah? And each functions, I have just now given some case studies that, for instance, in an insurance company, before the product is conceived, it is like when the business plan is prepared, the Sharia consultation also, Sharia view is also taken at the business and product planning stage, before any detailed documentation or pricing is discussed. So at a really conception level, if it is a startup, it is a good. At evaluation and individual at a pre-launch level, and then of course the Sharia scholars, how do they come to a conclusion, or how do they make up their mind? They analyze individually or in a group meeting consultations or informal consultation with other members, and of course with the IOF standards. And if the business is at the planning and launch stage, then there is a periodic meeting, but at the operational level, there is a regular quarterly meeting by Sharia boards. Yeah? And at every stage, whether it is operational issue or product issue, the fatwa and certificates are issued. And like Islamic Bank of Britain, you can see each and every product has the Sharia certificate. And then every annual report has the Sharia audit report. And these opinions expressed by Sharia scholars is not just really a consultative stage, but it is a binding by article of association and by other means. And of course, apart from this, these are, the first task of expressing opinion is occasional. There is not every day the products are launched. Then the ongoing level, there is a management awareness training, occasional training, professional training is going on for ensuring that each and every level, at each management level, there is awareness and there is a commitment and there is a full procedural knowledge, and Sharia scholars are involved really at that level also. So there is a continuous task for Sharia scholars to propagate the culture of Sharia within the corporate management structure. Sometimes their work also involves the consumer advocacy and dispute resolution. If there are some issues with the products or issues with the behavior of the management, and Sharia board is brought into like solving the issue. And most of the time really management do respect the decision of Sharia board. But sometimes it is not a Sharia issue, it may be just regulatory or consumer credit issue, consumer what's it called, legal issue, a compliance issue rather than Sharia issue. So we just make them make clear that it is not a Sharia issue. Please don't bring it to the Sharia board meetings. Yeah. And this, I think I have that apart from issuing occasional ruling on the individual issues, each product has to be, and the legal documents, forms, advertising material, everything is screened and it goes through the Sharia scholars scrutiny. I mean, I can say that in Lloyd's it's a big corporation, and even just simple current account, business account, and corporate account, and nostro account, all sorts of like one type of account took me like maybe 100 pages to review, just the the forms and other paperwork, apart from the legal things. Yeah. I mean, in advertisement, what sort of images will be used is also a matter of concern, that it might backfire if inappropriate advertising is used for the Sharia compliant products. Although sometimes it is overlooked, but people are careful now. And the last function is the audit of products and practices. Management practices and individual products are certified, and of course the management practices are also scrutinized. So for instance, if there is a leniency from some managers or any staff about any compliance issue, then if it is brought to the attention, then it is taken seriously. And sometimes management gets sacked also because of the inconsistency of their behavior. Like they undertake to abide by Sharia, but if they try to cut short something and it is brought, and there are cases that where the Sharia circumventing the Sharia practices or procedures may result in really serious consequences for the management. I mean, lower management or upper management. Even managing directors have been in conflict with Sharia board, and they have to resign because of the Sharia issue, because of the centrality of the issue. And of course, the liaison is external auditors. I mean, Sharia scholars are also taken some time in consultation with the financial auditors also. Financial auditors, they also sometimes get in touch with Sharia scholars about some clarity of certain issues. And sometimes a financial issue is flagged as a Sharia issue sometimes. And there is a communication between the auditors and the Sharia scholars. This is just an illustrative graph really I've taken from the Darul Istismar, which is not, I don't think it does exist nowadays, yeah. But it is a good explanation and flow chart of the Sharia decision-making process really. So it divides in 3 stages. One is the preliminary theme and concept document, and then preliminary Sharia report, interim Sharia opinion, that whether it's feasible idea, and then the detailed product specification, documentation, and pricing. When it comes, then the final Sharia ruling is taken. So this is 3 stage. It's very well illustrated because they had this whole in practice for last 10 years of their existence, and they did lots of high value and big structured deals, and maybe syndicate project finance and many things they did. I think their work was very commendable because Deutsche Bank has started this Darul Istismar. So this is one illustration, and I've got some another. This is a overall conceptual level. This is like a practical level, that how the certification, one is aspect of the Sharia fatwa and certificates, how we arrive and how many stages and what time frame takes. I mean, I've taken it from some illustrations, which I found it is in consistence with my practice here in the UK and Europe. That if it is a startup business, it takes at least, from the concept to the final approval, it takes 6 to 12 months. Usually, I mean, this is how the industry moves in that speed. It can be quicker, it can be later, depending on the business priorities, really. So, I mean, I think it's just really reformulation of the previous explanation, but at a really very breakdown stages. And this I give to any new clients who come, and they ask us what involves in the whole in the Shari'ah certification, if any, like a forestry company or a company which is new, not a finance but like a investment company, and they want to know how, if they want to be Sharia compliant, what are the process, what are the timelines. So this I give to them as a guideline, and it can be plus and minus, really.